Okay, the 2011 WWE TLC pay-per-view. Ironically, I'm only seeing 6 matches, so it'll probably go pretty fast. We'll start off with Dolph Ziggler versus Zack Ryder US Championship. Ryder totally has to win this match. Ziggler's next year is going to be a rocket shot, and the rocket shot probably to the main event and maybe even a WWE Championship run. You know, I think the Long Island IC has done enough to get that title shot now and to win at the end of the year. So let me just go to my screen, so I'll click this real quick. The IC Championship between Cody Rhodes and Booker T. I don't really see Booker T winning this match, because I don't know where Booker T's IC champion really goes except for a rematch against Cody Rhodes. You know, I think Cody probably end of next year will probably be getting close to that main event title push, but currently now I think he's doing a really solid job. He brought back the classic style title. I picture him retaining. You know, so that way then they can probably go into the feud they've talked about for next year, which is going to be Goldust versus Cody Rhodes going into WrestleMania. Could be a unique sort of match. You know, you have the family bond and whatnot, but I picture Cody Rhodes retaining against Booker T. Okay, now we're down to Triple H versus Kevin Nash with a sledgehammer ladder match. You know, H kinda needs to win this. Because if H wins, then they start hyping the return of The Undertaker, and then of course the run into a next WrestleMania match between Triple H and The Undertaker again. If Kevin Nash wins, then he... Yeah, there really is no plan for Nash after this match. He kind of goes back to being a legend, maybe having the occasional spot here and there, but you know, Nash really probably couldn't work a match with almost anybody else right now. So now we're down to Wade Barrett, Randy Orton, which is actually a tables match. Ironically, last year Wade Barrett took on John Cena in a chairs match, one that he lost. The Barrett Barrage, I think he's getting really primed for that main event push. You know, he's feuded with I actually think with all 3 of the people who are currently in the title picture when it comes to SmackDown. And Orton has kind of been languishing for quite some time. You know, Orton had this really decent push mid-year for SmackDown when he was taking on Christian, and then he took on Mark Henry. Since then, he's kind of been stuck in almost kind of like a developmental role, where he's helping build other stars. So I can picture Barrett taking this one. Now we're down to the 2 main event matches. The World Heavyweight Championship match, which is Henry and Show in a chairs match. Last year, in 2010, it was Kane, Edge, Del Rio, and Mysterio in a fatal 4-way TLC match. Now it's these 2 behemoths in a chair match. Would make sense. I couldn't see them climbing a ladder effectively, with the ladder being obliterated in the process. So with this one, it's going to come down to Kane. You know, do I picture Henry retaining to then go on in a feud with Kane? Do I picture Show retaining, I picture Show winning, Show going on in the feud with Barrett, and Henry to feud with Kane? I think that the better story is Show versus Barrett to become the #1 contender, while you have Kane taking on Henry for the title. Because I think either way, those are your 2 matches that are going to happen in the near future. So I can kind of picture Henry probably retaining. You know, he's done a pretty solid job so far. He has an injury, and normally when you have an injury and you're the heel, actually when you have an injury period, you tend to retain. Okay, and the first ever triple threat WWE TLC match. Punk, Miz, Del Rio. Ironically, Punk, two-time champion this year. Del Rio, two-time champion this year. Sorry, Christian, two other people became two-time champs this year as well. I do picture Punk retaining this one, because I look at either other direction. Okay, let's say Del Rio wins. Del Rio wins, then Del Rio will feud with Punk. We've already seen that could probably use a break. We'll say Miz wins. Miz then feuds with Punk. I think that's a pretty solid feud. However, Punk retains. Punk then feuds with The Miz. And it's still a solid match. But I don't picture them to put the title on Miz just to do it at the end of the year. There's no reason to. You keep that title on Punk, and then you can have Punk and The Miz get into a feud. So, I picture new US champ. H winning, Henry retaining, Punk retaining, Barrett winning, and Cody retaining. This is the end of your pay-per-view. I don't picture there being a huge amount of change. I just don't.